Hello students, Jai Swaminarayan. I am Professor Urvish Mewada, HOD Electrical Department, Sri Swaminarayan Institute of Technology, Bhat Gandhinagar. I am the subject matter of the subject Interconnected Power System, which is in the 7th semester Electrical Engineering, and the subject code of the subject is 2170901. Students, we are currently discussing the chapter number 3 of load flow studies, and this is our lecture number 3, and today we are going to study the topic number 5, that is various methods of load flow study. Students, in last lecture number 2, we studied about the approximate method of the load flow study and various method. We started this topic, various method of load flow study. This is the subtopic of topic number 5. In last lecture we discussed the Gauss iterative method and the Gauss Seidel method. In Gauss Seidel method we derive up to the two cases when the PV buses are present and when the PV buses are absent. So this is the lecture number 3, in which we are discussing the topic number 5, and subtopic of this topic number 5 is Gauss Seidel method. So in Gauss Seidel method, it can be easily understand by the flowchart of the Gauss Seidel method. Such type of questions can be asked in your GTU exam, that draw the flowchart of the GS method. So let us discuss the flowchart of the flowchart of the GS method. Now this this flowchart is continue, means from here it is starting from this side, so that's why I drawn an arrow like this. So because it was very difficult to means accommodate this flowchart in one slide, so that's why I made two part of this flowchart. Now start. So this is the process start of the Gauss iterative method. So in Gauss iterative method, first of all, this is the initial step, that is read load data. So that data given by the primitive matrix. So whenever the SLD provides data, it provides the data in terms of one line diagram or primitive data of that particular interconnected power system. Now from that primitive network we define the bus incidence matrix of that primitive matrix, so that we already studied how to form the bus incidence matrix from the primitive network. And consider the slack bus voltage, because slack bus is considered as an initial bus. That's why V1 and the power angle, or we can say excitation angle, that is delta 1, and true bus power, that Pi, where I stands for the number of buses, means true buses, means except the slack bus. So this is the excluding the slack bus, that's why I is equal to 2 to n. So we have the true bus of the means bus power. Now the reactive power, this is the active power, and this is the reactive power of the bus. So it is indicated as Qi, where I is equal to m plus 1, m plus 2 to nth, means wherever the load nth number of load buses, means the load is connected with the nth number of bus. If you put m is equal to 1, then we can start with the true buses, means 1 plus 1 means 2 3 4, like that. Then after we have the magnitude of the voltage Vi, where I stands for 2 3 4, because we have considered already magnitude of the slack bus is V1. Now voltage magnitude limits Vi minimum and Vi maximum for the load buses. So this is the assumption. So this is the magnitude that varies in between Vi minimum to Vi maximum for the load buses, and the reactive power of this buses is Qi minimum and Qi maximum for the generator buses. So this is the data that required to start the Gauss iteration method, Gauss we can say Gauss Seidel method. Now formulate the Y matrix according to the given primitive network, that we already studied that how to form the Y matrix. As we have the say 4 number of bus, then we can plot the 4 by 4 matrix, means Y buses. So I is equal to Vy. From that we have the value of that all the say voltages of that respective buses, current of that respective buses, and the admittances of the respective matrix. So that from that we can formulate the Y matrix. Now start the iteration, that make the initial assumption that vi0, we are starting from the initial value vi tends to 0, that I is equal to m plus 1 m plus 2 to n. So if vi is 0, then delta I will be 0, where I is equal to 2 3 4 2 m. So this is the initial assumption that made from for the calculation or to start the iteration. Now compute the parameter, that is ai. We have the two parameters, that is ai and bik. These are the parameters of the power system, and for I is equal to m plus 1, we have the nth number of buses. So already we taken I is equal to vi is equal to, means initial I is equal to slack bus, so that's why it will starting from 2 3 4 then up to so on, and bik will be I is equal to 1 2, and so this is the receiving end, so it is starting from 1 to n. Now where k is equal to 1 to n except k is equal to I, so that will that is means nothing but the we have considered the slack bus, that's why k is equal to 1 to n, and where k is equal to I. Now set the iteration count. R is the number, R indicates the number of iterations, so R is equal to 0, it is starting from the 0. Then set the bus count. I is equal to 2, so here we are starting from the slack bus, means we have already considered first number, bus number 1 is slack bus. As I already explained, the slack bus we considered the slack bus having the generator which is connected in the power system having maximum rating, means maximum power is delivering by the generator, so that is the slack bus. Now set bus count I is equal to 2 and delta V maximum is equal to 0, so this is the setting value. After that we have the condition. This is the condition test for types of buses. Here it means see the number of buses, PV bus, whether it is PQ bus, or we can find means we have already classified this buses in bus classification section. So if this is the condition that PV bus is there, then it will go into the say number 3, and if this is the PV bus, then it will compute the reactive power of the respective system. So qi r plus 1, r plus 1 is the indication of the number of iteration. So means once we get the similar value of 2 consecutive iteration, we can stop the calculation. Up to 4 decimal, if we get the similar value, then we can stop the iteration. Then when qi r plus 1 greater than qi maximum, so both are greater than or equal to 0, then it is yes. Then q I r plus 1 greater than or equal to qi minimum, and if you get the yes, if you get the no, then it will move towards the number 5. This is when you get the no, this condition you are not satisfied, then it will go to downwards, and if it is yes, then it will go ahead. Now set v1 r by v1 specified, so we have already vi specified value that we already calculated from the calculation, and that treat the delta ir as the phase angle of vi specified. So if this value that we initialize, then it will move towards the number 3. So the continue block diagram is means flow chart is over here. So it is go towards the number 4. So this is the continuation of the 4 5 and 6 that we already discussed over here. If qi r plus 1 means this is the reactive power iteration, means starting r plus 1, suppose 1 plus 1, then the second iteration. So this once this condition is not satisfied, then it will move towards the 4. So when PV bus is there, then we compute the q and delta. So that's why q is replace qi r plus 1 by qi maximum, and then after compute the new value of ai. So then after we can means computer compute that means the system compute the voltage vi r plus 1. So we start with the initial iteration from 0 to nth number of buses. So here it is number 3. So over here you can see that this is number 3. If the type of buses say I is less than or equal to m, then it will move towards the number 3 directly. So when this condition is means satisfied, and when I is greater than m, so at that time you can move towards this, so that will find the PQ bus directly. So it will not follow this path. and after that the compute delta vi r plus 1. So as we go to the next consequent buses, the voltage will change, and so as this after this computation we have again one condition that delta vi r plus 1 is greater than or equal to delta v max. So when this voltage will have the same value or means dissimilar value, then if it is say greater than or equal to delta v max, then it is yes, then set delta v max is equal to delta vi r plus 1. And if it is no, then the process go ahead that replace vi t by the vi r plus 1, means the first means answer of the first iteration will second iteration will depending upon the output of the first iteration. That's why vir by vir plus 1, and the advance bus count by 1. So that's why if I is less than or equal to n, then if it is yes, then it will go towards the number 2. So that we already discussed. And if it is no, then is delta v max less than or equal to epsilon. So advanced iteration count r is equal to say r plus 1, and it will move towards the number 1 if it is no. Then if it is yes, then compute slack bus power pi j qi from the value you find from the when the pv bus is there, and we can find out the q and delta. So that from that values we can find out the compute slack bus power, that is pi jqi, that is the apparent power of the slack bus, and all line power flows. And then after if all the data is say is been calculated, then take the printout and then stop. So this is the program that we can feed for the Gauss Seidel method for the operation of the say any power system. And over here when you come from the number 5, then replace qi r plus 1 by qi minimum. If we have the maximum value, then that will follow the number 4 path, and if we have the minimum value, then that will follow this path. And if this is coming from the 6 number, over here you can see that this is the 6. So whenever this conditions has been satisfied, once yes will get, then set v1 r by vi is specified, and treat delta I r as the phase angle of vi specified. So if it is there, then find the new value of ai and use it to determine the vi r plus 1. So ultimately we are finding the number of iteration until we get the similar value of say delta v max to the delta v minimum. And then after the treat delta 1 r plus 1 as the phase angle of vi specified, and again after this point this will follow the path that I explained. So this is the flow chart. This can be easily understood by calculating the example related to this. So first of all we check the Gauss Seidel method algorithm, and then after we'll discuss the example related to that. So this is the first step, that is the algorithm that follows by the GS method is say Y bus. So first of all we need to form the Y bus of given primitive network, and then make initial assumption that we already discussed vi is 0 for I is equal to m plus 1 to n. So here we have the slack bus, that's why it is considered as m plus 1. So a slack bus is the initial bus, that for that we have considered vi raised to 1. Then compute ai and bik. This is the say initial to the nth number of buses, means the links which are connected. So that's why it will compute ai and b parameter of the power system, and the set iteration r is equal to 0. Then set bus count is r is I is equal to 2. So this is why this is 2. Why? Because we have considered the slack bus as a bus number 1. So if bus is pq bus, then compute vi r plus 1 and compute delta vi r plus 1. So if given bus is pq bus, then calculate this and check this condition. If delta vi r plus 1 is greater than delta v max, so once you get this you can stop the iteration means of the given system, and you can have the all the means values of results of all the parameters. Then replace the new voltage, that vir with the vir plus 1, because we are performing the consecutive iteration until we get the similar value between delta v max to the v sorry, v min delta v minimum. So if bus is PV bus, then we need to calculate the q and delta. So that's why this is the compute qi r plus 1 for the PV bus and check the limits of qi r plus 1 greater than qi maximum. So this is the limit that is checking by that means condition checking block that we already discussed in the flow chart. And if no, then replace qi r plus 1 with the qi maximum, and if yes, then qi r plus 1 greater than qi minimum. Then set v1r is equal to vi specified, and the angle of this v1r will be delta ir. So replace qi r plus 1 by the qi maximum. So once this conditions is get satisfied, you can replace qi r plus 1 by qi maximum. This is the reactive power of respective means bus. Then compute new value of ai from this, and compute the value of vi r plus 1. So from that we can calculate delta vi r plus 1 and check again a condition that delta vi r plus 1 is greater than delta v maximum. And if it is not satisfied, then vir replace vir by the vir plus 1, means find means solve the next consequent iteration, and if yes, then delta v maximum is equal to delta vir plus 1. So after that, this is the 12th number of means algorithm of say step number 12 of the algorithm. Check all the buses are taken into the account, and if I is less than n, then go to the step number 5 and repeat it. So this is the condition which is not satisfied, then again repeat the iteration until you get the satisfactory answer. Now check the convergence, that is delta v maximum is greater than epsilon. Then increment iteration count r is equal to r plus 1 to go to the step number 5 and repeat. So once you get the means this condition gets satisfied, then then you can stop the means iteration of the system, and if it is not satisfied, then that will transfer to the step number 5, and we have to repeat the whole steps to until we get the satisfactory answer of the system. Now calculate the line power flows and the slack bus Pij that is the apparent power of the power system. And once the you get the value of s, you can take the printout, or you can take the note it down the all the values of the parameters, and you can end the process. Now to better understand this algorithm and the flow chart, we discuss one example which is based on the GS method. So in this, by using Gauss-Seidel method, determine the voltages V1 and V2 of the following set of the linear equation. So these two are the linear equation for which we need to find out V1 and V2. So 10 V1 plus 2 V2 is equal to 10, then 4 V1 plus 7 V2 is equal to 15. So let us solve this. So it is given that 10 V1 plus 2 V2 is equal to 10, then V1 is equal to 10 minus 2 V2 by 10. So you will get the value of V2 is equal to 15 minus 4 V1 divided by 7. Now consider the initial guess is say V1 is equal to 0, because we have considered V1 is the slack bus. So the first iteration values are V21 is equal to 15 minus 0 divided by 7. So V2 1 will be 2.1428. Now from this we can determine the V11, because we have the V2. So 10 minus 2, and the V2 is that we determined is 2.1428 and divide by 10. So V1 raised to 1 will be 0.5714. Now this is the first iteration. From that we can determine that we have determined the value of V1 and V2. Now then after this is the second iteration that we are going to perform, that V2 raised to 2. So from that it is 15 minus means 4 into, this is the value 4 into V1. So V1 is that we get 0.5714 divided by 7. So V2 is 1.8163, and from this this is the V22. So 10 minus 2, here we can place the value of V2. So this is the V2, 1.8163 divided by 10. So V1 raised to 2 is equal to 0.6367. So this is how we can consequently perform the iteration sequence. So from that we can have the third iteration. This is the third iteration for if we are following the same equation. So V2 raised to 3 is equal to 15 minus 4 V1. So V1 is 0.6368. So this is the value that we are taking over here and divide by 7. So it is 1.7789. And V1 raised to 3, that is 10 minus 2, V1 is 1.778. that we already discussed. That is V2 is 0.1863 divided by 10. So 0.6442. So from that this is the value that we determine. So this is the value that we get from the third iteration. Now the fourth iteration is V2 raised to 4. So we are following the same equation and we are putting the value that we get from the last iteration, that is the third iteration. By putting the values of this and the answer of the third iteration, you will have the value of the fourth iteration, that is V2 raised to 4 will be 1.7747 and V1 raised to 4 is 0.6450. Now over here you can see that V1 raised to 6 is we are getting 6451 and over here 6451, and V2 raised to 6 and V2 raised to 5, that we get 1.7742 and this is 1.7742. So after 4 decimal means after the decimal values 4 digit of the decimal value you are getting the same answer, then we can stop the iteration. So this is the fifth iteration in which we are putting the value of the fourth iteration and we get the value of the fifth iteration. And this is the sixth iteration in which we are putting the value of the fifth iteration. Now from the fifth and sixth iteration the values is seen that V1 and V2 are say not changing, and the real solution are V1 is equal to 0.6451 and V2 is equal to 1.7742. So this is how we can perform the iteration to determine the voltage value of the V, or we can say the equations that we that are given in the data. Now this is the example based on the GS method, in which we have the two buses. With the bus number 1 we have the generator, and this is the bus number 2 to which the load is connected. Now example is, say that the single line diagram of power system where the generator is connected to the bus number 1 and the load is connected to the bus number 2, that I already explained. The line impedances is 0.12 plus j 0.23 pu on 100 MVA. This is the power base power, and per unit real power and reactive power supplied to the load are 0.50 and 0.30 respectively. And bus number 1 is the considered as the slack bus. So use GS method to determine the voltage at bus number 2 and slack bus real and reactive power. So and the third one is the line flows through the transmission line. So here the first step is we need to find out the Y bus. So we have two bus, so it is 2 cross 2 matrix. So Y11 is the admittance of bus itself, and Y22 is the admittance of the bus itself, and this is the link. So 1 to 2 we have the links, and 2 to 1 we have the link. That's why 2 cross 2 matrix is formed, and I is equal to Vy. This is the equation that is following and this formation of the matrix. And the self admittance is Y11 is equal to Y22 is equal to 1.78 minus j 3.42, and Y12 is equal to Y21 is equal to minus Y12 is equal to minus 1.78 plus j 3.42. So from this we can determine the value of Y11 and Y12. So from bus 2 the real power and the reactive power are supplied to the load, therefore the P2 is equal to 0.5 pu and q2 is equal to 0.3 pu, that is given into the data. Now the voltage at the bus number 2 can be determined as, this is the equation that we need to follow. V2 is equal to 1 upon y22, this is the second bus admittance itself. This is the apparent power P2 minus jQ2 and divided by V2 conjugate minus y21 V1. This is the equation in which we are putting the value and we can find the value of V2. Now for the slack bus, V1 is equal to 1 is at angle 0, because we have considered this bus is initial bus, or we can say large generator which is connected with the slack bus. So let the initial guess that V2 0 is 1 angle 0. So the first iteration is V2 dash is equal to, this is the value that we get 0.152 at angle 148.48 divided by 18 angle 0. So the answer will be means V1 is plus 1, so plus 1, so 0.8747 minus 5.18. So this is the first answer. So after that, perform the consecutive iteration, and these are the iteration that we are performing. So over here you can see that V2 raised to 5 is 5.38, same 0.8427. So by putting all the values of the previous iterations, means V2s, we can find the values of the consecutive iteration. So third, second, third, fourth, after fifth iteration, in fifth iteration, by after putting the values, the answer is 0.8427 at angle minus 5.38. So in the sixth iteration, by putting all the values, you can see that the answer is 0.8427 at angle minus 5.38. So after the decimal, means the four numbers, the values are same. So this is the voltage at the fifth and sixth iteration is the same. So therefore the true solution is V2 0.8427 at angle 5.38. Now from that we can have the value of P1 minus jQ1. So this is the apparent power, so that's why we can consider V1 conjugate into I1, and V1 conjugate I1 is I is V1 y12 minus V2 y12. So by putting the values of this, we can get the value of P1 minus jQi, and the value of the real power is P1 is say 0.5568, so it means 55.68 megawatt, and Q1 is 0.4100 pu. So this is the reactive power MVAR of the means given system. The line current can be determined that I1 is equal to y12 and y12 is equal to y12 v1 minus y12 v2. So y12 is taken as common, so v1 minus v2. Now we have all the values of y12 and v2, so we can have the value of I21, that is 0.6914 at angle minus 36.36. so from that line flows can be determined as S12 S12 S21 S21. So S12 is V1 I12 conjugate. So by putting the values of this, we can find out the apparent power of link 1 to 2, and this is the answer 50.67 megawatt plus J 40.99 MVAR. Now from that, this is true one. Now 1 2, then we can determine the 2 1. So into 1 V2 I21 conjugate. So by putting this value, we can have the S21, that is minus 49.95 megawatt minus J 29.99 MVAR. So these are the active and reactive powers between the links 1 to 2 and 2 to 1. Now this is the after this topic, we have the worksheet question, that is what is the difference between Gauss iterative method and Gauss Seidel method for load flow study. And the assignment questions are: explain the Gauss iterative method for load flow study with flow chart and suitable example, and explain the Gauss Seidel method for load flow study in detail, and the related instructions which are written below to the assignment question and worksheet question. So please go through these instructions, and if you have any doubt or any query after this presentation, we can solve your doubts and queries in our doubt solving session, or you can take the you can give me means you can call me anytime. Feel free to call me anytime. You can take the snap of this slide also. So thank you very much, student. Thank you all. Jai Swaminarayan.